This week on Engage the Sage.
Hi everyone, I'm Don Saucier. Welcome to this week's episode of Engage the Sage. This week, we're coming off break. We're about to start that next semester, and I'm thinking about how I want to tweak my classes for this coming semester. With the semester about to start, this is the time to think about those tweaks, those small, manageable changes that you can make to your class in any capacity to optimize the experience for you, for your students, and to help them learn this semester. Now, before I get too far down talking about tweaks, I want to get something out of the way, and that is I hate to overhaul my classes. Overhauling a class where you're kind of almost starting from scratch is something that I try to really not do. It's hard, it's intimidating, and I find if I overhaul a class, I might lose some of the things that made that class successfully in the past. So I don't like to overhaul, I like to tweak. When I'm talking about tweaks, as I said, I'm talking about small, manageable changes. I'm talking about little revisions. I'm talking about adjustments. I'm talking about things to optimize something that's already going pretty well. I like to tinker. I don't like to do the exact same thing again and again. And when I tweak, I'm tinkering, I'm experimenting, I'm playing. When I'm making tweaks to my classes, I'm optimizing my practice, or at least trying to optimize my practices. I might be tweaking the course schedule, I might be tweaking assignments, I might be updating content. But what I'm doing is I'm doing little things semester to semester to keep my class evolving. Maybe I heard some stuff from colleagues. Maybe I went to a workshop. Maybe I read an article. Maybe I learned some stuff from the evaluations of my teaching from the last semester. And I try to do things based on what I've heard and what I've read. I try to take those ideas and make them operational as an experiment in that new semester. Now, what these tweaks do is it allows me to continue to pursue teaching excellence, but it also keeps the experience fresh for me. I'm always surprised when I hear people talk about teaching being boring because every semester is a new, exciting experience. It's an opportunity for me to do something different. It's an opportunity to teach in a way I haven't taught before, to give a new assignment, to share new content with my students. I love that idea of tweaking my class every semester to make the experience more positive for me and more positive for my students. Now, if you've watched this channel at all, you're familiar that Engage the Sage refers to my idea of trickle-down engagement. Trickle-down engagement means that the engagement of the instructor, the person teaching the class, if it's high especially, is going to trickle down to higher engagement for students in learning, and they're going to learn more successfully. When I'm making these tweaks, it increases my engagement. It's something new, it's something exciting. That makes my experience better, makes my engagement better. That's going to help my students engage and help them learn. When I'm thinking about what to tweak in my classes, there's a few different domains that I target. One of the things that I look at in terms of tweaking my class is to tweak the content. I am continually looking for new content to share with my students that fits in the parameters of my class. And sharing that new content keeps the class vibrant for me each semester. I think about how I can tweak the assignments and assessments in my class to provide new and exciting and creative ways for my students to demonstrate their learning in ways that are personal and relevant to them. I think about how I can tweak my course schedule to make sure that the content is scaffolding as effectively as it can, and to also make sure I'm not overwhelming my students by having a lot of assignments, for instance, all at the same time. I sometimes think about how to tweak my point structure to make sure that the assignments and assessments in my class are valued correctly in terms of their points for what I want my students to do in terms of their investment and their demonstration of learning. So this semester, I'm teaching my Principles of College Teaching course, and I have some tweaks planned. And I'm going to share those with you now. These tweaks were inspired not only by my own thinking and own reflection, but also conversations with my amazing graduate teaching assistant, Noah Rankin. We also discussed the feedback that we got in evaluations of the class last semester, and these also inspired some of our tweaks. In a previous video, I've talked about how you can use evaluations from your students on your teaching to provide inspiration for changes to your class. So I definitely recommend that you use that as inspiration for tweaks that you might make. A couple of the tweaks that I'm working to include in this semester of my class are actually additional assignments that my students asked for in their evaluations. I love that. I love that my students thought of other ways that they wanted to share with me what they've learned in the class. And the first of those ways is they conduct teaching observations. They go watch faculty teach and they provide assessments of what they saw and what they've learned. They wanted to do something more formal in sharing their learning from those teaching observations. And I want to give them that opportunity. My students also do final projects in the class where they create their own assignment to demonstrate their learning about how to teach college courses. And what they wanted is more opportunity to share that with each other in form of maybe a mini presentation. So what I'm doing is I'm tweaking my class to include that opportunity for them as well. Another tweak that I'm making to the class, and this came from one of my students last semester, so thank you, Nick, is to actually devote some specific time to talking about how they can demonstrate their teaching excellence on their CVs. So how they can create sections to demonstrate their teaching excellence and how they can show all the things that they've done to make themselves better teachers. I love that suggestion. Nick, we got you. It's going to happen this semester. We also might do a video to tell you about how to do that, so stay tuned. I find that these small, manageable changes keep my class fresh, keep it vibrant, that engages me, that engages my students, and that helps them learn. I'm really excited to see how these tweaks go in my class this semester, and I encourage you to think about ways that you can tweak, not overhaul, but tweak your classes in ways to optimize that experience for you and your students. In the comments below, I would love to hear about tweaks that you are making in your classes this semester. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Engage the Sage. Please like, subscribe, sign up for notifications, share us on social media, and we'll see you next time on Engage the Sage.